They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets.
What if I told you that some things perfectly legal in Vietnam could land you in prison abroad? Get ready to uncover 12 shocking practices that are normal here but considered illegal in other countries. This list will blow your mind and challenge everything you think you know about global laws. 1. Spa industry and massages. Vietnam's spa industry is a curious blend of both professional and unregulated services. As you walk through the streets of bustling cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, you'll encounter a wide array of massage parlors, offering everything from foot massages to full-body treatments, often at a fraction of the cost you would pay in the US. While many spas do offer quality services, the reality is that Vietnam's spa scene is riddled with unregulated establishments. And not all therapists are professionally trained. Some may even be learning on the job, which can lead to a massage experience that leaves you feeling more sore than relaxed. But what truly sets Vietnam's spa culture apart is the fact that many of these spas don't just focus on traditional massage. They often provide a range of services that go far beyond the typical massage experience. Some offering full personal care services, which can push the boundaries of what might be considered acceptable. And one thing I can say for sure is that the massage staff here are always incredibly beautiful. In Vietnam, there's a general stigma surrounding these types of spas. Many locals view them with suspicion, often associating them with less than reputable activities. While some are just focusing on relaxation, others can blur the line between massage therapy and something more controversial. This contrasts sharply with the strict regulations governing the spa industry in the US, where therapists are required to undergo formal training and certification to ensure high standards of hygiene and professionalism. 2. Love hotels, a hidden escape for couples. At first glance, this might seem a bit unusual, especially considering Vietnam's more conservative views on relationships and intimacy. Public displays of affection are rare. Couples seldom kiss in public, even after a drink or two. Holding hands or hugging in public is also uncommon, and most couples prefer to keep their affection behind closed doors. So why are love hotels so popular here? The answer lies in the fact that many young people in Vietnam simply don't have the privacy they need. It's not uncommon for them to live with their families well into their late 20s or even 30s, making it difficult to find a quiet, private space for themselves. This is where love hotels come into play. These establishments provide a discreet, romantic setting for couples seeking privacy. Even older couples might use them, especially if they're involved in extramarital affairs, something that would be hard to hide in a multi-generational family home. The appeal of love hotels comes from their beautifully designed rooms, which are often decorated to create a romantic ambiance. From love chairs to elegantly arranged bathrooms and little touches like roses, balloons, and soft blankets, every detail is meant to make couples feel comfortable and private. However, this growing trend of seeking privacy comes with its own set of consequences. With limited sexual education and easy access to these private spaces, many young couples end up facing the realities of unplanned pregnancies, particularly before marriage. Premarital pregnancies are often met with societal pressure and stigma, especially in a culture that still holds traditional values regarding family and relationship. This places immense strain on young women who are left with difficult choices and the burden of judgment. 3. Eating dog meat. Sounds like a joke, but you can find nearly every type of animal on the dining table, and dog meat is no exception. In some regions, consuming dog meat is still considered a delicacy, believed to bring health benefits and good fortune. This practice, though legal, is particularly common in smaller towns or rural areas, where it has long been a cultural tradition. The cost of dog meat varies, but a typical meal can cost around 100,000 to 200,000 VND, 4 to 8 USD, making it an affordable yet controversial dish for some. However, this practice has sparked a dark side dog thieves. In certain areas, individuals have resorted to stealing dogs to meet the demand for meat, leading to public outcry and increasing tension. While the consumption of dog meat is still widely accepted in some parts of the country, it's becoming more controversial, especially in larger cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Younger generations are beginning to push for change, seeing the tradition as outdated and inhumane. In contrast, in the US, eating dog meat is illegal, and even the mention of it can spark outrage due to the strong emotional bond Americans have with dogs as pets. Most Western societies view the consumption of dog meat as cruel and unacceptable. Yet despite this growing shift in public opinion, eating dog meat remains part of the cultural landscape in certain parts of Vietnam, where change is slow but gradually taking place. 4. Double pricing for foreigners. Tourists often encounter a curious and sometimes frustrating phenomenon: double pricing. Visitors are charged one price while locals enjoy the same service for a fraction of the cost. For example, entry fees to museums or attractions might be listed at 30,000 VND, about 1.26 USD, for locals, but foreigners are asked to pay 60,000 VND, about 2.52 USD, for the same experience. This practice is based on the belief that tourists, especially foreigners, have more disposable income and can afford to pay higher prices. Meanwhile, locals are charged less to keep cultural and historical sites affordable. While this may seem unfair to those paying more simply because of their nationality, it's an accepted part of the tourism culture. Some travelers have even shared instances where they were charged extra simply due to their foreign status. One example involved paying an additional 200,000 VND, about 8.4 USD, for a bus ride to Bac Lu, while a Vietnamese companion paid the regular fare. There are also reports of tourists being overcharged when dining at certain restaurants, with some places charging as much as 3-4 times the normal price for foreign customers. This led to public outcry and forced local authorities to step in and address the issue, setting regulations to prevent such unfair practices. Despite criticism, double pricing remains a deeply ingrained practice, often seen as a way to preserve local attractions for residents. But it raises an important question. Should the value of an experience be determined by nationality, or should cultural heritage be a shared experience for all? 5. Pharmacies. Unregulated healthcare in Vietnam. Imagine walking into a pharmacy and picking up antibiotics, ibuprofen, or even Viagra without needing a prescription. Sounds unbelievable, right? But in Vietnam, this is a reality. Pharmacies often serve as the go-to healthcare providers, especially in rural areas where doctors are scarce or too far to reach. For many people, this easy access to over-the-counter medications can be a lifesaver, offering quick relief for minor ailments like a sore throat or headache. But here's the catch. While it's a convenient and affordable solution for those who can't afford a doctor's visit, it also comes with risks. In contrast, in the US, you can't simply walk into a pharmacy and get these medications without a prescription, and the process often requires insurance approval or a doctor's consultation. Vietnam's system may seem like a dream for those seeking instant treatment, but the lack of regulation raises concerns about overuse or misuse of drugs. But what happens when a simple trip to the pharmacy goes horribly wrong? One wrong medication, taken for the wrong purpose, and it could lead to life-threatening consequences. While these pharmacies provide quick access, they also open the door to dangerous risks and misuse that could spiral out of control. 6. Motorbikes on sidewalks. Traffic culture shock. One thing that might surprise you is the sight of motorbikes on the sidewalk, which is completely normal in Vietnam but illegal in many other countries. In places like Hanoi and across other cities, when traffic gets congested, many people hop onto the sidewalk to get around faster. It's a common way to bypass the heavy traffic, even though it's strictly illegal in most parts of the world. Whether you're walking down the street or driving, encountering a motorbike on the sidewalk is just part of everyday life in Vietnam. This practice may seem strange to visitors who are used to strictly regulated roads, but it's a testament to the country's unique approach to traffic challenges. Despite being illegal in many places, this behavior is so ingrained in local culture that it's often seen as a quick solution to the country's ongoing traffic jams. So, while it might be shocking for outsiders, In Vietnam, it's just another example of how people adapt to their environment. If you found this interesting, don't forget to share this video so others can discover this surprising aspect of Vietnamese city life too. 7. Sidewalk barbers. Affordable cuts in Vietnam. In Vietnam, you might come across something you won't see much in the West. Barbers cutting hair right on the sidewalk. No fancy salons, no business licenses, just a scissor, a chair, and a mirror. And suddenly, you've got a barbershop right in the heart of the city. For a lot of folks, especially those who can't afford the high cost of rent for a proper shop, this is the go-to choice. These sidewalk barbers offer quick, affordable haircuts, mainly for men, that cost less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, about $1 to $2. It's a simple but brilliant solution, especially for the working class who don't need a salon's frills. In contrast, opening a barber shop in the US means dealing with permits, health inspections, and sanitation regulations. You'd probably need weeks of paperwork before you could even get started. But in Vietnam, it's all about making things work, even if it's not the most luxurious experience. Sure, the hygiene might not be up to spa standards, but for just $2.00, you can walk away with a decent haircut and a story to tell. It's a practical and affordable option for people who aren't picky about the latest trends, but just need a clean, quick cut. 8. Public drinking, a Vietnamese freedom. One of the most noticeable differences between Vietnam and many other countries is the freedom to drink alcohol in public. In Vietnam, it's common to see people enjoying a cold beer while sitting on the sidewalk, in parks, or even at street stalls. The law allows this, and there are no hassles. Locals gather in the streets, relaxing with a drink after a long day. In contrast, some countries have strict regulations. For example, Singapore has implemented a public drinking ban and prohibits the sale of alcohol between 10:30 p.m. and 7 a.m. daily. Those who violate this can face fines up to 1,000 CSG, about $1,380, with repeat offenders facing fines of up to 2,000 SG, more than 1,480 USD, and a possible 3-month prison sentence. In India, certain states like Gujarat, Nagaland, and Bihar enforce a complete ban on the sale and consumption of alcohol. Other regions, such as Manipur and Lakshadweep, have restrictions in specific areas, while Kerala has limited alcohol sales. Meanwhile, in the US, strict open container laws prevent public drinking in many areas, like parks, beaches, and even streets. People in America often hide their drinks in brown paper bags to avoid fines. In Vietnam, however, there's no such concern. People can enjoy their drink responsibly and freely, reflecting a broader cultural difference in personal freedoms and attitudes toward alcohol. That said, Vietnam does have strict laws regarding drinking and driving. If caught driving with alcohol in your system, the fines can be significant, reaching up to 30 million VND, about 1,260 USD for car drivers, and 8 million VND, about 330 USD for motorcyclists. 9. Discriminatory job ads. One thing that often catches visitors off guard when they arrive in Vietnam is the sheer number of young, beautiful women everywhere. Whether you're at the airport, in schools, pharmacies, hotel lobbies, or even walking down the street, it seems like attractive young women are always in sight. You might find yourself wondering, what's going on here? Why are there so many beautiful young women in these public spaces? The answer is surprisingly straightforward. It's not just about beauty or youth. In Vietnam, there's a deeper cultural and social reason behind this. Discrimination based on age, gender, and appearance isn't just common, it's widely accepted. Many businesses openly advertise for young, attractive women, typically in their 20s, often asking for specific physical traits like long black hair and slim figures. This is particularly true for customer-facing jobs like sales assistants or receptionists, where appearance plays a big role. What might really surprise you is that employers frequently request photos alongside resumes, a practice that would raise eyebrows in most Western countries where such discrimination is illegal. But in Vietnam, it's just part of the hiring process. Job ads often specifically state gender, age, and appearance. For example, you might see a listing that reads, "Wanted, female, under 25, attractive, no experience necessary." While this would be considered discrimination in countries like the US, it's an accepted practice in Vietnam, especially in smaller family-owned businesses. Employers prioritize youth and appearance, believing these factors improve efficiency and cultural fit. Though younger generations are starting to challenge these norms, this practice is still very much alive in Vietnam today. What do you think? Should these standards evolve, or are they just part of Vietnam's unique culture? 10. Surrogacy laws, regulated but controversial. In many countries, surrogacy is outright banned, either for ethical, moral, or legal reasons. For example, in some European countries, like France, Germany, and Italy, surrogacy is completely illegal. Vietnam has more lenient regulations surrounding surrogacy, though it is still tightly controlled. Surrogacy is legal in Vietnam, but only for married couples who cannot conceive naturally, and the purpose must be humanitarian, not commercial. The surrogate mother must be a close relative, such as a sister or cousin, and she can only serve as a surrogate once in her lifetime. This regulation ensures that the practice remains focused on helping families struggling with infertility rather than becoming a business venture. However, as scientific advancements in reproductive medicine improve, surrogacy has become less of a last resort and more of a viable option for those unable to conceive naturally. With better fertility treatments and increasing access to reproductive technology, many couples in Vietnam and abroad can now consider alternatives like in vitro fertilization, IVF, or egg/sperm donation, reducing the demand for surrogacy. This shift in science and technology has made surrogacy less necessary, as more couples can rely on medical advances to achieve parenthood without the need for a surrogate mother. 11. Gold shops, the gray area of currency exchange. Gold shops and pawn shops are often viewed as convenient alternatives for handling money, especially when people need to exchange foreign currency or make quick transactions without the hassle of going to a bank. For many, this method is simply easier, faster, and more accessible compared to the official procedures at traditional financial institutions. However, this convenience stands in sharp contrast to the laws of many other countries, where exchanging money at gold or pawn shops is considered illegal. While some gold shops may offer currency exchange services, they are not authorized to do so, and such transactions are considered illegal in Vietnam. Violations can result in administrative fines ranging from VND 10 million to VND 20 million, approximately $400 to $800 USD, depending on the amount involved. In more severe cases, penalties can reach up to VND 100 million, about $4,000, and the foreign currency involved may be confiscated. This legal framework ensures that all currency exchange transactions are handled by licensed banks or certified financial institutions, maintaining control over national financial activities and reducing the risk of financial fraud or money laundering. Despite the legal restrictions, these gold shops continue to operate in a gray area. However, it's crucial for individuals to use authorized institutions for currency exchange to avoid legal trouble and ensure that their transactions are secure and transparent. 12. Smoking in public, a persistent issue in Vietnam. In Vietnam, smoking in public places remains a prevalent issue, despite laws prohibiting it in certain areas. According to the tobacco control law, smoking is banned in healthcare facilities, schools, child care centers, and places with high fire risks. However, many individuals still disregard these regulations, lighting up in areas where smoking is prohibited. Although the law allows for fines ranging from 200,000 to 500,000 VND, about $8 to $20 for such offenses, enforcement is often weak. This problem persists due to a lack of clear signage, limited public awareness, and insufficient law enforcement. Smoking in public not only harms smokers, but also exposes others to the dangers of secondhand smoke. For effective change, it is essential to raise awareness, install proper signage, and ensure stricter enforcement of smoking bans. In conclusion, Vietnam offers a unique perspective on various practices and norms that are considered legal or normal within its borders, but may be deemed illegal elsewhere. These differences highlight the diverse legal, cultural, and societal frameworks that shape countries around the world. It's important to respect local laws and customs while traveling or living abroad, understanding that what's accepted in one nation might not be in another. Embracing cultural differences and having an open mind can help navigate these complexities and promote mutual respect across borders.